I mean, the mechanics of filming Ragdoll, I mean, Henry and Lucy and I have said this, like we basically filmed an action movie in the space of like no time at all, which was kind of phenomenal. And what is amazing by watching episode 1 and 2, I've only seen those 2, is that actually the editors have so much creativity in the suspense of the drama, and the music is so important. There was one moment where I was like, this is a bit scary, and I just muted the sound for a second, and it completely shifted you out of like the tension of the drama. And I think obviously watching other actors perform the most phenomenal, terrifying scenes, it's so much to do with the production around it and the timing of the editors is like genius, and the sound that's been placed. So I think the way that I'm going to watch crime dramas in the future is to like, really pay attention to the lighting, and everything is such a magic, it has to be such like suspense. It's kind of like unraveling a present. But I was just really impressed. I'm going to be so much more impressed now watching scary films or things that have like a tension, really listening out to the music. I mean, we've got amazing, Moses Boyd is the composer that's done the most phenomenal soundtrack. Not only is he like under the age of 30 and a young Black jazz musician from London, so I'm like so happy that that's the sound that we've got for our very London show. But yeah, what he's done with the saxophone is how I feel in my stomach when I first saw the Ragdoll. So I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. I've done a few things in like the horror space, and did Pretty Little Liars for years, which is drastically different from this, but still had that like whodunit element. And I think that, I mean, I don't know how to word it better than Thalissa did, but you're so right. It's in every detail matters, and the editing so matters, and the lighting really matters, and the music really. I just saw a cut of it with Moses's original score that he did for the show, and it just like elevates it to a whole new level. I think that actually is what's most important to me when watching something, is the score and the music. I think it can like make or break something. So that was really crazy. But I think for me, my whole takeaway from this experience was more about how interesting it is to me on why people choose to follow this career path, and like how you compartmentalize and like go through your day-to-day life when you're dealing with all of these really intense, disturbing things. I don't have an answer for why, but like it really had me thinking like how these detectives go home at night. Like, how do you, I mean, it has to overtake you. It has to become your whole life, I guess. But that sort of is my whole takeaway from Ragdoll, is like how impressive it is what these people do. It's a lot.
I've definitely explored some of the emotional spectrum that's in this show before, but definitely never combined it with that all-out physical thriller element. And what it takes to make that kind of television, what it takes to make that kind of program, and as Thalissa was saying, to keep characters in a state of panic, anxiety, and suspense, in order, hopefully, to keep an audience in a sense of panic, anxiety. That is a serious undertaking. And as she said, like, there's a real skill to it and a real art to it. And it's also very hard to do. And it's hard to do well. And weirdly, I was thinking about the tragic news last night that they had on that horrendous accident, where corners were cut or whatever. I mean, I don't know if we know what's happened yet. And my heart goes out to everyone that's involved. But in a weird way, it's part of this thirst to make content, but also to make people feel something, to make something authentic, or make an audience, provoke an audience reaction. And the quest from that can be really tough. It can be really tough, and in some cases, of course, now deadly and have tragic consequences. So weirdly, it's made me feel quite fatalistic about you sit back on your sofa and you watch people do a Fast and Furious style car chase and explode into flames. And now, having been closer than I've ever been to that type of action, and of course, I felt completely safe throughout the shooting this show, and I had a fantastic time, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. But it's made me realize all of how the sausage is made, you know, and especially reflecting on everything that happened last night. I've been not quite, that could have been me, that could have been us, but you know, I definitely feel closer to it than I did before I did this job. It's quite a weird roundabout answer. I'm sorry for gabbling, but there you go.
I hope they'll enjoy the sort of will they, won't they, Rose and Baxter, actually. You see a little bit.
We haven't talked about that.
We haven't actually spoken about that at all. Why are people avoiding our possible interaction? That was quite nice. It's quite, well, it felt really human again, in the idea that these people's lives are so work driven that, you know, you got to fancy someone at work. I don't know.
It comes quick. Thalissa, did it came quick in the epic, like it felt like it was really up there, like quite quick. I remember that was it, I felt like it was really low volume, and in when I read the scripts, and then I was like, oh wow, okay.
I was going to say because that's one of the reasons why I think that maybe he's quite much sweeter than maybe you realize, because also their romance helps with the humanity of the. I mean, it shows vulnerability. If you're going to love someone, you're going to have to.
I think
your chest,
right.
show them your organs. So there was a softness to them because they possibly could love each other, which was. Hopefully the audience will connect to that. I don't know.
But it was interesting because I hope this isn't revealing anything, but like spoiling anything. But I remember early doors talking. I said, you know, this. I'm talking about when I just read like maybe one episode certainly before they finished the series, but certainly before I'd even read future episodes, and saying to the writers and director, you know, that people are going to think. Just so you know, like I was saying, like I don't know what happens, but just so you know, people are going to think that something's going on here, and they were like very much, people were very much like, will they? Oh, that's weird. I don't know where they. I was like, they're gonna think it. They're gonna think it. Whether you like, we have to know how to, you know, we have to own this. So, yeah. Interesting.
I quite like that Edmonds' character she clocks it also as quickly as the audience does.
Oh yeah, and she calls you out on it immediately. But me as I am the biggest Rose Baxter stan around. I am so pulling for this, hoping for this. It's there.
Are you talking about as Lucy or Edmonds?
No, I'm talking about as Lucy. But also, I think Edmonds would be in full support of that as well.
I don't at all.
Maybe in the beginning, I don't know.
Oh, the plot thickens. I'm going to give you a short answer. Come for the jump scares. Stay for the belly laughs. That's what audiences are going to get out of it.
Yes, I ditto what Henry said.